Welcome back. Time now for a look at some of the other stories making headlines this morning.
It's about the Red Sox and the Yankees being 2.5 games out of first place because the Blue Jays keep losing?
No, that's not it. We're going to get to sports a little later, so just hold off there. The president of Venezuela says his country is ready to respond to America's growing military presence in the Caribbean. Nicolas Maduro called the U.S. buildup unjustifiable and immoral.
Oh, wait. The guy that stole an election is preaching morality now? Okay.
And the Pentagon has deployed multiple warships to the region amid President Trump's threats to use the U.S. military to crack down on drug cartels. After more than 3 decades in the House, Democratic Congressman Jerry Nadler of New York will retire next year. The 78-year-old said in part, quote, watching the Biden thing really said something about the necessity for generational change in the party, and I think I want to respect that. As the New York Times reports, Nadler's retirement will also almost certainly touch off a crowded primary fight over a rare open Democratic seat in the heart of Manhattan. We'll be watching that. And President Trump says he will award former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor. Trump made the announcement yesterday in a Truth Social post, calling Giuliani the greatest mayor in the history of New York City. Trump's decision to honor the former mayor comes 2 days after he was injured in a car crash in New Hampshire. According to state police, Giuliani was the passenger in the car being driven by his spokesperson. The vehicle was struck from behind. Giuliani's head of security says the 81-year-old was taken to the hospital for a spinal fracture, adding that he is, quote, recovering tremendously.
Jonathan Lemire, as our daily news alum, let's talk about Giuliani. First of all, hoping he recovers well and gets out of it. Giuliani, though, many people would say he did an incredible job as mayor of New York City, and some of those same people would say he deeply tarnished it by trying to steal a presidential election. Talk about Giuliani's record as mayor of New York City.
Well, first, we certainly hope he recovers. Some questions about the circumstances of that car accident, but police said they'll have updates in the days ahead. He was first of all, as a hard-charging prosecutor before he ran for mayor here in New York City. Most, even his critics would argue, very successful in his first term, really helped bring crime down. David Dinkins, his predecessor, had hired a lot of police officers. Giuliani put them to use. He and Commissioner Bratton, head of the NYPD at the time, with their broken windows theory, undeniably successful bringing down crime. Second term, less so, seemingly confrontational with a lot of communities in the city. Reverend Sharpton has spoken about that quite a bit. But let's be clear, he was performed heroically on the morning of September 11th, and for weeks afterwards, really sort of hit the grace notes what this mourning, grieving, stunned city needed.
Right, and at a time that the President of the United States, first couple of days, seemed off balance up until the time he came to New York and stood on the pile of rubble. Giuliani stepped into the void there at an extraordinarily important time, and he was who America was looking at for several days after 9/11. And I will say also, he and Bill Bratton, no doubt, the before and after effect of that has been stunning. And what it taught New Yorkers was, we don't have to live in a dirty, dangerous, crime-ridden city.
Yeah, those are the high watermarks, no doubt, of the Giuliani tenure. The driving down crime in the first term, what he did after September 11th. But as you said, Joe, his 2008 presidential campaign was a bust. And then, of course, he aligned himself with Donald Trump's efforts to steal the 2020 election, tarnished in the eyes of most.
He didn't just align himself, but as you wrote in your book, was a leader of a movement to steal an election. So we'll see.
Got disbarred, I think.
Yeah. But the president says he's going to give him the Medal of Freedom.